I'm Harshvardhan. I'm Global Head of Digital Innovation for Apollo Tyres. My role is very simple. My role is to really kind of help solve complex business problems across the entire value chain of Apollo Tyres. We are India's #1 global tire manufacturing company, not only a manufacturing company, but also a designer and a trader. We sell our tires, we manage our supply chain, we manage our marketing as per Automotive Tire Manufacturing Association 2023 report. Well, so what am I going to be talking about here? So let me get started with that. I'll skip this video. I think enough of the videos. Guess it gets skipped. Yes. Yep. So, as I said, I'm from the manufacturing, designing, and trading company. I'm coming from the world wherein AI, digital, IT meets the physical world, large machinery, every single day. Not only every single day, but every hour, rather every moment. Our interfacing with the machinery, with the physical world is every moment, right? So here I'm bringing one of the story which is called the story of intelligent automation. As a head of the digital innovation, my responsibility is to bring intelligent automation, to bring the productivity or cost optimization, help our workers become even more smarter. So it's about manufacturing productivity, it's about supply chain productivity, it's about the human productivity, and so on and so forth, through intelligent automation. Now, when I talk about intelligent automation, that's what we are obsessed about. That's what our plants are also obsessed about. Most of our plants are operating pretty much in the line of Industry 4.0. So we have really got all our PLCs, SCADAs, machines are really kind of telemetry, sending the data to the cloud. Our supply chain is pretty much modernized. We produce tires across 7 global tire manufacturing plants, which are distributed across the globe, and we sell the very many different segments of the tire across 100+ countries. So think about the global operation, right? So our supply chain has to be smart, our logistic has to be smart, our manufacturing has to be smart. And one interesting tidbit which I wanted to talk about, as tire is a grudge product, when we buy automobile, we look at the vehicle. We don't look at the tires till the time we don't face the problem, right? When I joined this tire industry, I was overwhelmed to know that in one single segment, which is called passenger car radial tire, we produce 800+ SKUs. I was like, amazing. I mean, 800+ SKUs in a passenger car tire itself. So you can think about it, the kind of complexity which we are having it. Our plants have to go through a lot of challenges of meeting the market demand, getting that OTIF right, getting, producing a lot of those, SKUs across all the segments. We produce tires across commercial vehicle. We produce tires across passenger car, EV, mining, two-wheeler. You have seen that in the video, so I'm not going to talk about it and all that, right? So, and then you can think about the scale, the challenge, right? And, we deal with our operators, we deal with our supply chain, and so on and so forth, right? So we are obsessed with the intelligent automation, and our intelligent automation story is always a fusion of everything. It's a fusion of generative AI, it's a fusion of AI, it's a fusion of IoT, it's a fusion of big data, because not one single thing works for us. If you are looking for a worker productivity, our plant experts productivity, if you are looking for our customer services productivity, if you are looking for our health service experts productivity, it's not going to be just one technology which can help solve, right? So we look at the intelligent automation. We look at the fusion of technology. We look at with the lens of how do we kind of keep the cost under the control, right? So it's the business ROI, is the cost, and is the culture sensitivity. If you go in Europe we have really got close to around 6,500+ dealers. We are more of a B2B to C company. So we have 6,500+ dealers in Europe. We have really got 7,000 dealers in India. Everywhere the culture sensitivity is different. The kind of ask, what our dealers are looking for, what our consumers are looking for is very, very different and all that. So the third pillar which we always focus is that if we are embracing any technology and it is bringing the intelligent automation, how it is aligning with our cultural sensitivity across the globe, across the operation, across our different functions, right? So I'll move on. I'll talk about some of those intelligent automations which are primarily powered by generative AI. We were pretty, let me just bring this all. Okay, there are three and three more, right? So we started embracing generative AI somewhere last year in the month of August, September, because for us it was very clear that, okay, we want to see how generative AI can be pretty, helpful for us. So we didn't want to really kind of jump onto the bandwagon just because there is a buzz about it. We wanted to be doubly sure about it and all that, right? So then when we really kind of got sure with our own sort of experiments in a short prototype kind of model and all that, then we decided, yes, we will embrace generative AI at scale, at speed, to help solve the complex business problems, right? So here are some of the glimpses, right? So how we are using generative AI as one of the engine to drive intelligent automation on the top of the supply chain data, on the top of the health safety data, on the top of the manufacturing data, on the top of the marketing data, and so on and so forth, right? The first one is very close to my heart, okay? This is, we call it as a Apollo Edge. This is, if I put it in a very simple way, it's root cause analysis engine for machines, for machine productivity. That's a very simple way to really kind of put it across. Let me tell you what is the beauty behind it, and why did we embrace this problem. Our operators, our plant experts were looking for a simpler solution to help strike the work-life balance. They were looking for a sort of intelligent solution which can assist them in finding out the root cause of the problem or upon the time series connected machine data, right? So there are a lot of machines, there are a lot of SKUs, there are a lot of mechanical components, and they were like, what do I do to really kind of fix the problem? How do I really kind of get an answer which can help us to de-bottleneck the machine or de-bottleneck the process or de-bottleneck the recipe to get to the right real-time corrective measures itself and all that. And that is where I call it as a this is Apollo Edge, which is helping us to really kind of bring closer to Industry 5.0. And this generative AI platform is helping our plant experts to get the reasoning. I repeat, get the reasoning on the time series connected machine data, which is coming from the IoT, right? I'll talk about it a little later. So the reason why I highlighted reasoning, we looked at O1. O1 under the hood really does the reasoning. It has a multi-step complex workflow to create a reasoning. We have created a reasoner for machine productivity, for our human augmentation, for our plant experts capability expansion itself and all that. I'll talk about that right later. The next one, which we are doing it, is for our customer services. As I said, we take care of our own customer services, we take care of our own supply chain, we take care of our own marketing, and so on and so forth. We have two brands. One is Apollo Tyres, another one is a Redestein tire, which is for the ultra high premium tires, which you see it in the BMWs and the Mercedes of the world and all that. And that Redestein is a Dutch brand which we have acquired in 2009, and then it's pretty much amalgamated with us, right? So we have a customer services agent across Europe, US, India to serve our dealers, fleet owners, our distributors, and so on and so forth, and eventually even our end consumer. So they were having a lot of problems. In fact, there are a lot of conversational need which is there to help our dealers to really kind of register a claim, to see that, okay, their questions, their asks are being catered. So what we we created a multilingual conversational Gen AI powered platform to reduce the average handling time. Today, I'll tell you, in India, we get from our dealers 34,000 calls in a single day. Each call takes around 6 minutes. Our objective was we don't want to go and replace our customer service agent. We don't believe in that. Apollo believes in morale first. Apollo believes in the employee first. So our idea was like, how do we help their life so that at least the average handling time of the call should come down from 6 minutes to 3 minutes. That's with the agenda which we started off, right? And the whole idea is like, we will also help elevate our customer services agent to handle more of a complex, challenging conversation rather than the mundane conversations and all that. So we started the second one, customer service. These all projects which I'm talking about are all enterprise-grade Gen AI projects which we are running it, right? Then if you look at the third one, that's about safety. The interesting fact that if you look at our plants which are globally distributed, if I talk about our APMEA plants, FY 21, 22, 23, 3 years, how many serious LTIs, you call it as a health safety pyramid. There is a pyramid, on the top of it you have already got a PSIFs, there's a critical LTIs. How many LTIs we had it? We had the serious LTIs at only 4 or 5, right? And then the lost time to injuries, which is the second part of the pyramid, was only around 40, right? But that too is not acceptable to us. The computer vision and our application services will come together to help our customer services agent, our health safety service employees to capture all the kind of health safety hazards. There are very many kind of hazards. And when they capture it through the camera, they capture it through the mobile, or they capture it through the CCTV camera, it should be automatically identified. The hazard should be automatically identified to begin with. 2, the hazard should be classified correctly. There are very many kind of hazards. There is a fire hazard, chemical hazard, waste management hazard. There is a PPE hazard, physical hazards. There are so many kind of hazard. So the hazard should get classified, but it doesn't end there. If I just help identify the hazard, classify the hazard, that's just the beginning. What we said that, okay, we'll use generative AI and do the PEFT tuning, fine tuning, and we will give them the corrective and the preventive measures so that our plants can become safer and we will not have anything at the top. In the top, if you look at in the health safety pyramid, you have really got a serious LTI, which is called PSIFs. Then you have really got a LTI. Then you have really got non-LTI. I talked about 5 in the last 3 years at the top. Then the below, there was 40. We decided that, okay, another 2 years, we will not have the top 2 part of the pyramid itself. So with that, we started off this health safety platform to bring the PSIFs to 0 and make that whole platform flat. The PSIF pyramid to be the flat itself and all that. Okay, I think that's a buzzer. So I'll keep moving a little quick fast. Moving on. There are some other things which we are doing it and which are typical. I would say that, okay, these are typical generative AI use cases. We have also embraced it. Some of the things are like, say, legal. We do legal, contracts with very many sort of players. We have really got OEMs which are having legal contracts with us. We have IT vendors. We are having a legal contract with them. We have dealers. We are having a legal contract with them. So what we wanted to do, that we wanted to really kind of automate the whole legal contract creation, validation, and the post-life cycle management itself. That means if the legal contract is really kind of getting it expired, there should be an automated mail to the right audience at the right time with the right content, that what action they need to take it and all that. And that's for the legal, right? More importantly, what we wanted to do, that we wanted to really kind of safeguard our brand. If any one of our vendor finds that, okay, no, there is a problem dealing with Apollo, it hurts us. Dealing with Redstein, it hurts us. So we wanted to really kind of go with that objective. There is another one wherein we continue to do a lot of those marketing analysis. Our marketing experts have been traditionally doing a lot of those marketing analysis by subscribing to third-party reports to understand that what is happening in the marketing, how do I really kind of create my marketing strategy more appropriate, and so on and so forth, right? And that is where we decided that, okay, we will do the knowledge synthesis on the document, not to really kind of create a knowledge synthesis itself, but rather towards a very clear pivot, which is about RTM strategization, that read the market pricing strategy. And what it means that when we do this, our marketing experts can take market-driven call on what is the new marketing strategy they should really work upon. So that's this RTM strategy. And then the last one, I have kept it for the R&D. Obviously, we are primarily a manufacturing and a R&D company with all sort of business to really kind of sell it, reach it out to you and everyone. So for R&D, we are working on to help create, through this generative AI with the vision aspect of it, to help create the newer product design, the newer tire design, the newer tread design pattern in a quicker and faster fashion. So these are some of the generative AI programs which we are running it. I repeat itself. Why do I call that these are generative AI programs? Because these are fueled and powered by generative AI. They are running on the top of a lot of other technologies. There is IoT technology, there is a SAP technology, there is a big data technology, and the generative AI is sitting on the top of the pyramid to help unlock the value which we have envisioned, right? So with that, I will move on to the first problem. The first problem, which is very close to my heart, because my operators wanted us and wanted me to really come up with a solution which can help them figure out the debottlenecking area. It's pretty much like finding out needle in the haystack. If you look at, not to overwhelm, I have just put 6 months of the data. In 6 months, if you look at, and just one stage of the production, we have a sequential production. There is one stage of the production in just one plant, and just for the 6 months. If you look at here, the kind of permutation combination which you deal with is you have 235 SKUs, you have 84 machines, you have multiple different sort of cure medium which goes in. Those who know vulcanization, they will appreciate that cure medium itself and all that. And then there are different sort of machine, there are different sort of operation which happens, right? So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and so on and so forth, to really kind of get the whole curing, the vulcanization done. In this humongous thing, and then there are operators. Operators keep operating. Our plants are still very, very automated. As I said, they are Industry 4.0 aligned, but still, the operators, when they operate, they keep stopping the machine, they keep stopping the automation, and they keep logging it. So we had to really kind of do this analysis from all. So there is a PDF for the operator log, there are time series data coming from the machine, there is a SAP data for the machine asset. We fused this all together, created a multi-step reasoner workflow. It's a reasoning question which says it that, you can create a reasoner not to just know the insights from actual aggregated data, not just the aggregator. You can ask the question that, okay, what can I do to improve my cycle time, improve my productivity in the last 15 days? What has gone wrong? Why has it gone wrong? And what should be my prescriptive action? So it's a multi-step reasoner workflow which we have created, which has got multiple branches which are powered by the multi-agentic RAG, branches powered by the big data pipeline, branches which are powered by the PEF system as well. I'll show it to you. I hope I will not really kind of overwhelm you all with a lot of those our own mechanics, our own challenges, but you can see it. The essence is finding out needle in the haystack if you want to debottleneck only one stage of the production in one plant. And think about it, we have to do it globally, right? So that's the scale which I'm talking about. Moving on in this one. So what I said it is like our operators on the kiosk, they come and ask question. They ask question that, okay, you know what what is it which I can do to improve the cycle time from median 90 second to 60 seconds and all that. I have a buzzer, so I'll have to really kind of fast it, okay? So what we did it, we created a multi-branch reasoner. I celebrate it for the reason that today, reasoners are being appreciated. We have created a reasoner for machine productivity. We have created a reasoner in our own humble right for our human productivity. And you see it here, the branches are, let me just go back. See these branches. It's a multi-agentic branches. Top 3 branches are agentic RAG. There is one branch which is big data to the small data conversion, directly powered by the big data itself. Then there are 2 branches which are powered by one with a chain of prompt and one which is just the PEFT. You have a PEFT LLM using LoRa, and then we are directly making a call. So think about it. What has happened? My operators, my plant experts go and ask a question on that humongous data set coming from SAP, coming from IoT data, coming from Excel data, SCADA data, and all that. And this reasoner thinks about it, takes the time to think, gives an answer that, dear operator, you need to really take this real-time measure to correct your machine operation and improve your productivity. So that's what we have really kind of created. And I am very proud of it because my operators are saying it that what earlier used to be taking 7 days for them to really do the analysis on the Industry 4.0 powered plants with all the IoT and the dashboards and the AI running, right? Now they are able to do it in just, in a day or half a day and all that, because they ask the question, they get the answer, they go back, they check it, whether the answer is right or not. And so far I'm happy that, okay, they have found it very, very meaningful. They are saying that, okay, Harsh, it is helping us to strike our work-life balances. The most important thing for us is, I call it as a safety first, quality first, delivery first, cost first, but morale first. If our operators, we are number one, we are the youngest kid in the top tier manufacturing, tire company in India, because our associates, our employees, our operators are very, very passionate. So if I can help them in some ways to strike a work-life balance, that's the best achievement for me. And that is what this whole thing is about. And the technically, not to be unfair to my team, yes, they have created a reasoner, a multi-step, multi-branch workflow operation which does a real-time reasoner for them on the real-time data coming from varied sources and all that, right? So with that, yes, I think I'm done with the time, right? Okay, with that I've saved some time.